in this sweat competition. Is anybody close to me? It's pretty close.
I'm wiping a lot on here.
It's pretty close. Yeah. Still a bit dry. Still, I think I got everybody beat right now. Okay, good. That's the way it should be. Okay, so everybody's still healthy, no problems? It's good. Okay, I'm all screwed up from icebreaker. That's a strong arm wrestler, guys. That guy's got some technique on him. Watch this. So, okay, we'll talk about a few more things. We'll talk about stance. We'll talk about straps. And we'll talk about some subtle elbow repositioning, okay? So, first thing talk about is stance, okay? So, arm wrestling, like, all I do is train my forearms. That's it. Okay, all my homework, everything I do is this, a little bit of this, okay? But the truth is, it is a full body event, okay? And one of the reasons why I train like this is because I train my whole body my whole life, okay? I've got some stuff to fall back on. But, like, it's a full throw, okay? Like, everything's working. Mat mask, blue is inner abductor when we arm wrestled, okay? So that should give you an idea. I've been sore in my calves, okay? It's the whole body working. So we'll just talk about stance very quickly because it's super important. So when you come to the table, there's a lot of different ways you can stand. For the first few years that I arm wrestled, okay? So like when I first got into the sport competitively, I used 2 feet under for a very long time. I think I probably did 2 feet under for probably the first 3 or 4 years of my career. And it's a great stance, okay? So both feet are coming, all right? Let me steal you, yeah? Okay, so when you're set, okay? So it's okay. So just take a little grip there, take a little bit of a grip. Okay, so I've got both feet kind of under, okay? So there's a little bit of load here, but basically everything is coming back, okay? Everything is hammering back into that guy's fingers, okay? And with from your base, right? If you think about my right foot, okay, it's maybe a little bit more in his fingers. With the left foot, it's maybe a little bit more outside. And with them together, you've got a strong base that's pulling everything up high and back. A perfect way to start a match, right? And you also have your hips, right? You talk about stance, there's your feet, and then there is the table, right? There's the ground, and then there's the table. You become welded into the table, right? So your base is your feet, okay? Your base is also the table. The table is your base, okay? When you have a hard match, hard tournament, you should have bruises. You should have bruises on your hips. If you start to dip low, you should have bruises on your stomach. And if you're like me with Dave Chafee, you should have a jaw fracture after the event, okay? Whatever it takes, man, whatever it takes. So this is one of your stances, okay? Both feet under. Stance is flexible, okay? Everything is moving all the time, okay? Repositioning your feet. When you're at the table in a match, okay? You want to feel your feet. You want to feel your hips. You want to start to adjust everything all the time, okay? So like I said before, priority is height. Priority is always height, okay? And that's why this stance works quite well. This is kind of like the starting point for height, okay? Things are going well. You're starting to feel dominant, okay? Start to pull your left leg back, okay? So now you have your height off your hip, off your right leg, and it starts to open up the option with your hip against this leg for some force to the side, okay? All right, so this moves into a split stance. Split stance, same arm that you're arm wrestling with, same leg goes forward, okay? So same leg that you're arm wrestling, same leg goes forward. You have that weld, okay? And this stance turns into your press stance, okay? Foot up, okay? And this is an extremely strong base for all things kind of inside, okay? All right, so this is one flow. You have a different flow, okay? You have your split or your both feet under, okay? And this can flow into an external drive, okay? So this can start to look, give me a little bit of cup, a little bit of, yeah. So this can start to look like this. I'm pivoting off my left hip. Okay, left hip, right leg back. Okay, it's gonna throw it this way. Okay, the feet are moving all the time. Both feet under, open up into a split, put your leg up to push, come back out, throw out this way. Okay, other things that are going on underneath the table. Some people, okay, typically guys who are a bit shorter, you can put your foot up on a post and push off it. If a guy is super strong, okay, first, you gotta be super strong, your opponent's super strong, okay? One of the things that's gonna happen is, this will happen, believe me. Guy I like to watch for this stance especially is a Prudnik, okay? Prudnik's monster, super stud arm wrestler. If you get deep into a hook, typically you're in a split stance, okay? A lot of pressure through your hip. If the guy is strong, if he's really strong, there will be a lot of force pulling you up over the table. He will actually start to lift you a little bit. Like if I'm hammering hard and if his wrist is strong enough to hold out, the body will start to lift a little bit, okay? So you have to be able to lift your left leg, okay? So the split stance will turn a little bit like this, and you'll start to lift this leg like this, okay, to ground you. So you'll be making a force like this, okay, this. Okay, so these are some of the stances that you want to play with. Both feet under, split stance, press stance, right? And whatever you want to call it, throw out, king's move stance. Don't forget your anchor of your off leg. Typically, same arm, that same side typically is your driving. And the other leg is just to adjust your altitude. So for example, just stay in a hook with me, okay? Just stay in a hook. So I drive and I'm a little bit sloppy, okay? It's fine to be sloppy, it's fine. And I fall away a little bit because I'm going for that last little pin. I don't quite get it. The left leg's job is to return you, okay? Don't be lazy and stay down here, okay? You're probably gonna eventually get in some trouble, right? Stand back up, okay? So you can drive again. Stand back up, drive again, okay? So all the force is pretty much coming from the right side of your body. The left side is gonna lift you, let you re-hit. Okay, good, thank you. So, straps, a little bit on straps now. Oh no, I'll use you. Okay, so first thing, depending on the league or the contract that you sign, not a lot of people got that joke today. Okay, so a lot of times you're gonna be in the straps. Okay, you got to know how to get there. You have to find a way to get in the straps. So, arm wrestling's a tricky sport. The rules are hard to enforce. Okay, like height is king. Height is king. You don't always have height, guys. Even if you train for it every day of your life, you're gonna run into somebody stronger. Okay, if you don't have height, if you do not have the high hand and somebody is messing with you, technically, I'm telling you, there's not a single good option in the world for you. If they are a good arm wrestler and you do not own the height component, you get out of there. You get out of there and you do it in the straps, because the straps will make height not as vital. There's a lot of options that you can play in the straps where you do not have to have the high hand. It's really important. But if you don't have it outside of a strap, you are done. You're done. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too long about this, but when I'm arm wrestling, okay, and I'm in a federation or whatever where we're not getting strapped up right away, if it's a federation where all slips go to straps, just focus on your pronation, keep your pronation, keep your height as long as you can. It's gonna fail, just top row me. It's gonna fail, okay, and I just hold my pronation and I slip. Okay, you wanna get more technical, more precise. Okay, I'm probably not gonna get too deep into this, except for maybe at the very, very end of the seminar. Talk about something called a half slip. Okay, a half slip is where Okay, just stay with me. Okay, so don't move, ready, go. And he's got too much. He's got too much up top, and I know it, and I know I'm screwed. So I'm starting to go for the strap. Okay, and here I am. Okay, now I have not carried all the way through. Ideally, if you want a fair strap in a federation that is tight on slips, when you hit hard, you roll through, and you go all the way to the pin pad. Okay, this is how you're probably gonna get your best chance of straps. But if there's any kind of leniency or whatever, you start to have your hand go. If he holds on to you, you don't continue to slip. You can hang out here. It's called a half slip, okay? If he wants to hold on to that, great, let him. Let him hold on to that. It's a terrible position, super inefficient. You don't have to fully slip. Anyways, half slip. Either way, the best way to slip, in my opinion, is through pronation. Okay, so bang, establish a slip, okay? In the straps, we're gonna get into more strap pulling, like the technical parts of strap pulling now, but basic rule and setup, every single piece of fabric closer to you. Okay, so when the ref is putting it on, ideally, you want the buckle on the other person's hands. Okay, even with the fairer strap, symmetrically, it's totally fair. However, the option to get an advantage, okay, when the buckle is on the other person's hand is there. And I don't care what anybody tells you, it's there, believe me. Okay, and the reason why it's there is when the strap is tightened, it pulls their hand down and your hand up. Okay, this is a reality, whether it's the fair strap or the hustle strap. The hustle strap, dude, you will beg for the right side of the strap. But even in a fair strap, it makes a difference. So it's part of your consideration. But when you're arm wrestling in a strap, every single piece of fabric that is on this strap, you want closer to you. Okay, like every single one, and when I mean closer to you, I mean closer to your center, okay? And in terms of value, the higher the strap, the more it's worth, okay? So if we are, like with Auden and I, if we are to move the strap just 1 millimeter towards him, it's a big difference, okay? It's super important. The way that this runs on your body, on your hand, very important, okay? You want this angle to be as low as possible. As low as possible. So when the strap's being applied, you keep your hand up, you kick it back, you supinate, just like we've been talking the whole time, that creative movement, okay, this giving away, this regripping, while the strap is going on, okay? Every piece of fabric towards you. When you are in the process, you still continue to give this grip, this giving away, this climbing grip, so that when it's tightened, your webbing is higher. Harder to do on the side with the buckle. Okay, now really, really small, I want to talk about a couple angles. All right, just give me a little bit of pressure on, okay, and just kind of hold me. Okay, so Auden and I, just post, yeah. Okay, so Auden and I are fighting, okay? Things that are going on in the strap, there's more of two vectors. Outside of the strap, the rules are different than inside the strap. I have the ability to drag, so just drag. He feels it without the cup. So the drag opens up without the cup, and the pronation opens up without the height. So you can pronate without height, you can drag without cup. Okay, that's the big addition in the strap. So how do you set up your pronation? Okay, things are totally even. Things are totally even, we're in the middle, we're fighting, okay? I want to roll. I want to roll him. Can't do it, he's too strong, we're too close, okay? One of the most simple things you can do is just move your elbow to the outside. You guys see that? So we're here, we're in the middle, okay? I want to roll him, I'm not strong enough. I move my elbow just slightly outside. The hands didn't change at all. But guess what? By doing that, right, by being here, okay, talk about pronation and locking a muscle, right, In arm wrestling, you lock a muscle and you drive through it. Here I am. Now here I am. Guess what? My pronator just locked by a few more degrees, right? So here, you want to set up a roll, move your elbow outside your body, then set up your roll. Okay, it's the same thing for inside, but focus more on outside for now. Any questions, guys? Keep the donuts going into you guys. Keep the sugar going through your body. Get donuts into you, get water into you. Any questions? Let's keep fighting, all right? Good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a facility, you know what I mean? So you're not going to see it's a lot of land. It's kind of like this.
Don't leave your thumb behind. That's it. Yeah, that's better.
The environment is just like this.
Yeah. Good. Leave him behind. You gotta lift that thing.
So you're like.
Yeah. Good. A little bit of pressure there. Okay, good. All right, so here we are. Yeah. So if I just come like this, I've already got it, right? And then I'm over. Yeah. Like if I just do it again, if I just try and go that way, I go right into the meat of your hand way more. But if I come out, then I'm over it. See that? You see it?
Yeah. See, I feel like I lose my hand.
There. Drive the elbow forward. To here. Now this, Jacob, is this way. That way.
This way?
No. It starts with me just going this way. First, that's it. Yeah. Now this way. That's it. Now lift your thumb higher up. Yes. Good. All right. So now you're rolling. You feel that? Yes. Yeah. Now you can get even higher. That's it. Yes. Now do it again. Yeah. Now when you come forward to get, now you kick back. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah. Kick back. Every time you slide that thing, you do that kick back force. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
See how high up you're getting?
You ever do this? You ever do that?
Drag to that corner. I will try to drag this way, but yeah, if I'm in big trouble, I'm just staying out here. Like, I'll try to drag this way and then retreat to this corner. This way is the retreat way. This is the advance way. This is the get better grip way. This is the power way, right? So the most re-grippy, the most powerful. And if I can be here, I don't necessarily re-grip this way. I can just go back and forth on this line.
And re-grip here?
Fuck yeah. Stay right on it. Stay right on it. Only if I'm having trouble in my hand position will I go back this way. And that's that outside step. Yeah.
You always no cap?
No, I'll cap if I can. I will. My thumb has changed. Like, I used to always cap, and now my thumb's gotten a bit bigger. So I don't always do it. If I can, I will. Yeah, but it just doesn't always work that way. I'm definitely going for it, though.
You try and get your hand up on my thumb
deeper,
like that?
past. Not so much around, as past. Right? See how I'm getting past? Yeah. And kick right back when you do it. And supinate.
You guys doing that lately.
Yeah. When I get deeper, right, then this whole line, anytime I do cut, I'm way past, right? Yeah. That's a better grip already. Yeah. See the step out? See my elbow? See my pronation?
That's what I was telling those guys earlier. Like your wrist, your pronator's out here, but your wrist is like got a weird.
And that's
position.
why I do it, because I move my elbow out like this to establish that pronation block.
It's like I'm not very good at strap. I'm trying to figure it out. But I've been trying to do it. Add a little bit more. I totally set up way different on my left.
You're left. Yeah.
A little bit more to get my pronator to go around.
Right.
So it's almost like a set up more like you.
Yeah.
Ready? Like, you got it when
See the outside step? That's what I'm doing, right?
He's really technical.
There we go, man. Oh, I've been waiting for you, man. I've been waiting. It's been since Cohen's. No, Cohen. Didn't we pull at Cohen's place?
I didn't make it.
You were at Paul Cohen's. Were you not there? We pulled. Go righty first. Go righty.
I'm injured, so go easy on me.
We pulled on a side table. What did we pull?
I pulled you in a bar at like one of the first WALs.
I remember you were a real fucking dick.
Was that? I caught you. We were both drunk.
I remember you were real strong.
And then you were like, you know what? Fuck that. And I couldn't fucking do it.
I remember you were real strong. I remember. It's funny how my brain works. Like I remember the I don't know where it was. I thought it was at Cohen's. Okay, just go easy. I'll kind of go in with you a little bit, okay? Just take it down. Nice. I'm coming back out, okay? I'm coming back out. You okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ryan.
Oh, there we go. There's some heat there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get serious now.
Feels like I'm pulling Travis Bazin right now.
Good, buddy.
Twisted wrist, bitch!
I like it.
On you go! Press it!
You do the Jerry Carteret?
Come on, kid! So close! There you go!
That's it.
They're definitely close, but I think I got you now. I bring you to my level. Yo, ready? I got you now.
Yeah, that's all I got.
got you.
I'm gassed up from last week.
Strong, good wrist. Nice position. Never trust the camera guy, right? Never trust that guy. Just keep having fun with it. That's it. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that hip close. Yeah, good. Okay, I'm gonna stop you. Ready? Yeah. Good. Yeah. As soon as you feel it stopping, get back on my fingers, okay? Yeah. That's it. Yeah, stay close to it now. That's it. Get your wrist bent. Stay close to it. Get your wrist bent. Good. Good.
Look, my left's really bad.
Yeah? My right is much better than my left.
Yeah. I love your videos, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. Good. Yeah. Stay close to it. Yeah. Good. Good. Think about your wrist all the time. Think about your wrist. Get your hip over there so you're behind it. Good. Good.
Fellow grinder.
Good. Good. Nice. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about homework, okay? So, arm wrestling technique. We've talked a lot about outside technique, right? A lot, like all the rising, all the rolling, okay? The elbow positioning to the outside. That's a lot of outside technique. A lot of the ways that you describe arm wrestling is like a pyramid. I don't know if you guys have heard this description yet or not. Okay, arm wrestling technique in some ways can be explained like a pyramid, where the one half of the pyramid is all your outside techniques where you run further and further to the outside, and the other half is inside technique where you go deeper and deeper and deeper in. Okay, the middle of the pyramid is the imaginary place between inside and outside, which normally is described as the high hook. Okay, the high hook, it kind of transitions between inside and outside technique, and it's this beautiful place where if you get to it, it's very powerful. If you control the top of the pyramid and the high hook, if you can establish a high hook, the opponent must kind of run down one half. Kind of like King of the Hill, like where you're on top of a snowbank and everybody's trying to get to the top, and the person on the top of the hill has the power, right? Control the high spot, control in between inside and outside. You force someone to run down the one side. It's where you discover the rule of intimacy. Okay, the way to really hurt somebody is to be close to them. Okay, so you follow them down, you chase them down, but you make sure that they can never get back up to the top, okay? The real power in arm wrestling is to be able to switch between inside and outside and to have somebody forced into one small corner of the arm wrestling spectrum. When you're at the top and you run away to the outside, everything eventually will end up in a king's move, okay? It goes from high hook to high posted top roll to more outside, switching to a high bottom. Eventually you're giving away everything except for your pronation, okay? Your pronation, your drag. On the inside, right, up nice and high, nice high hook, okay? Maybe it goes into a press, maybe it goes into a dragging hook, but eventually if you're moving that shoulder forward, everything must go, eventually you'll end up in a flop, okay? So the far outside is a flop, the far outside is a king's move. The high hook is in the middle. Okay? So the power, the real technical power is to be able to cross, okay? Be able to arm wrestle, okay? I'm coming back, then I'm coming forward, coming back, and I'm coming forward. Okay? So what does that mean in terms of setup? If you're just thinking about running away, say I'm just gonna top roll, okay? It doesn't really matter where my arm is so much. I can top roll out here pretty much the same way as I can top roll here. Okay, I can king's move like awesome here, okay? I don't need to be here to do a king's move. The reason why it's good to have the arm inside the body is so that you can press, okay? Whenever you're thinking about that cross, okay, you do not have a credible threat for an inside move the further your arm is away from your body, okay? I'll throw a little bit of jiu-jitsu spin into this. And tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Okay, arm wrestling, is it a little bit like a self-imposed key lock? A little bit, right? Okay, you want to protect yourself from a key lock, you gotta get that thing close to you, right? Right, you get a key lock on you, big problems, right? Okay, so this is a constant threat in arm wrestling. So you running, you top rolling, it's all good. You want to have that pressing ability where there's risk of spiral. There's risk of damage to your arm. you must have your elbow inside your body so that you can mechanically, safely push. You can push like this. You're not gonna get hurt. I can get behind my arm, I can push. If I'm here and oh God, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, okay? So that's why when you're thinking about arm wrestling, okay, and you're starting to think about that in and out, okay, right? This is the exact opposite of what I was talking about earlier, okay? Jacob came up and Jacob's like, I like to move my elbow inside my body. More of an inside arm wrestler, okay? More inside. And you need to move it inside if you're gonna come forward with that shoulder. Okay, so you've got to step to the outside. Okay, this sets up your roll. Okay, you want to even think about going in. Okay, you got to get that elbow in. Elbow in. Right, here I am, mechanically safe to press. Okay, so I just want everybody to think the real power in arm wrestling, you have control of the high spot, and you know you're doing good when you can move your elbow both. You can move your shoulder both in and out, and the other person can't. Okay. All right, talk a little bit about training. Injuries, that's a reality, okay? That's a reality. Everybody here is gonna get tendonitis. Everyone here is gonna have soft tissue damage, okay? And we'll get at the best way to prevent all that. If you're healthy, you train for strength. If you're healthy, you're training for strength, and that is our number one thing. You want to be a better arm wrestler, you get stronger. Okay, you come to the table and the other person's stuff fails. People talk about endurance in the sport. Endurance is a byproduct of good position. Okay, if you're stronger, the person breaks down technically, you have better endurance. People think that I'm an endurance puller, and I probably kind of am for a few different reasons, but believe me, I train for strength, okay? And every good arm wrestler should, okay? Because that's what's gonna win you the match, okay? But the reality is you're gonna get hurt. You will get hurt, you'll get hurt a lot, okay? You're gonna love arm wrestling, you're gonna love to fight. You will be hurt probably at least 50% of the time, okay? So it's how do you continue to improve while you're in this state, okay? And what I've found is it's all about fluids. It's all about pushing fluids. These things that get hurt, they're not muscles, okay? They're white tissue, tendons, ligaments, joints, okay? A long time ago, when I first started arm wrestling, I used to listen to old arm wrestlers be like, it's a tendon sport, it's a tendon sport. And I never understood what it meant until you have a tendon problem, right? You won't know because you'd be like, the muscles are doing the work here. What's the issue with these tendons that are just kind of hanging around, like whatever. And then you discover that the tendons are gonna be your limiting factor, okay, as you progress. So your tendons are gonna get an injury, some kind of an injury. What you have to understand is that the circulatory system in these structures is not the same. It's not the same as the red tissue, the muscle tissue. You get real sore like you're gonna be tomorrow and the next day, and probably the day after that. Okay, you eat good, you sleep good, you stretch a little bit, you're gonna get stronger. Easy day, okay? Probably a bunch of you here are gonna develop some mild tendonitis from today. Okay, that's good too. That's good too. That turns into gains, believe it or not. But the strategy to fix it is a little bit different. You have to encourage fluid movement. What they've done is like, when I had multiple years of tendon issues, which is ongoing, which will continue to go into the future, I started to do a lot of research into tendons and what's really going on. The circulatory system is different. Okay, if you ever want to look at an interesting video, look at something called strolling underneath the skin. It talks about, they go in there with microscopes and they actually look at what's going on in these structures. And when the heart beats, it doesn't push fluids. There's no fluid exchange through your tendons and ligaments. The only way that the fluid gets through is through movement. Okay, so if you want to heal these structures, you must move them. You must. Okay, so basically, when you have inflammation, when you have pain, okay, you must push fluids through that region. So you must find the pain. You must progressively, and when I talk progressively, I'm like, there's been so many times in my life when I've worked out with like 5 pounds, 3 pounds, 10 pounds is normal, okay? Because I'm not worried about the load, I'm just worried about the movement and the pushing of fluid through these structures. Okay, that fluid will heal the structures and make you able to then get back into your 1RMs and your good table time. Okay. Talk briefly about Way of the Giant Pumpkin. Talk briefly about how that all works. So, do you guys know Oleg Zok? Yeah. You guys know Matthias Schlitti? Yeah. Right? There's some freaks out there, okay? And you can learn from all these crazy people. Like, so what I thought is I thought the reason why they're like that is I think especially with Matthias, I don't know what's going on with all of them. I'm not their doctor or anything, but briefly talking to Matthias, he told me that it had something to do with an arterial spread. So from his heart, okay, the arteries don't go even like they do on everybody in this room. We all have an even spread, okay? It's the same pattern basically. So with Matthias, he gets way more, his artery to his right arm is just much bigger from his heart, okay? So it gets more oxygen, it gets first. It's the first one to the dinner table every day, all the way back from in utero, okay? So his tendons are different, his attachments are different, everything's different. And that's just from being more oxygenated and better fed. So when I really looked at that, I'm like, okay, so I think that so much of the way your genetics are expressed is just by the amount of blood an area gets. Like if you're training hard, even if you're not training hard, you give one area more circulation, it's just gonna express better. And what we're supposed to be, I think, is something even greater than what most of us are, right? So if you can increase your circulation to an area, it is gonna be way better. So what I found is you can push fluids probably about as much as you eat, okay? So typically you eat a meal, you whatever, if you're resting, whatever, by the time that meal is in your blood, you can alter your blood flow slightly, okay? And you can do that through movement, through exercise, through rehab, and just with exercise, you can push the fluids more exactly where you want. So that's how I kind of started the premise of Way of the Giant Pumpkin. I was doing blood flow exercises like 3 or 4 times a day, okay? Not really the 1RM work I'm doing right now, just pushing fluids. And it works. It does work. So much of what you guys are going through, like with tendon issues, just know you can do light workouts all through the day. You'll heal faster, you'll grow better, you'll come back and you'll be able to pull harder at practice, whatever. It's the best way to cure tendon issues. One of the things you can do is you wake up in the morning, you got like the basic moves of arm wrestling, cupping, rolling, rising. It doesn't have to be hard at all. It does not have to cause you strain. Just you go through the motions. It's basically like oil change for all your connective structures. Works great. If I was a doctor, I'd prescribe it to every single person. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on that?
How does active muscle exercise compare to cardio or even massage for getting fluids to your tendons?
Well, I'd say in terms of like general cardio, it's more just specific, right? So if you're doing general cardio, you will generally affect your body, and yes, cardio will strengthen your heart and your lungs a lot more, whereas like focused circulation exercises on a body part, they're probably not going to affect your heart and lungs that much. and it's going to be more targeted, the circulation aspect of it. I'd say, so it was the other part of the question was?
Massage.
Massage, right. I'm not big on massage myself. The way I see it is movement. I prioritize movement over everything. Like massage, yeah, okay, but if you can move, I don't know. There's a lot of things I think that are personal. I believe that the best way I can heal myself is through movement. That's if you have success with any healing strategy, I'd say go for it. For me, movement.
What would you say is the minimal number of reps and sets kind of per day for a given tendon or something that's effective in your opinion? So
varied, okay, but what I've done in the past that's worked very well is, so I'll backtrack just a little bit because this applies to all sorts of things. So I think here in our culture, North America, I think that one of the things that we have is this no pain, no gain mentality, okay? Has good things in it, okay, but it's not all good, okay? It's not all good. One of the things that I've come to really believe in is you have time, okay? Let's take 100 days, 100 days. And let's say that what matters over the course of those 100 days is a sum of exercise, a sum of volume, okay? So what you're trying to do is have the highest sum, okay? So when you talk about intensity, when you do things really intense, it can actually reduce the amount of volume you can do. So by cutting back your intensities and making more frequent deposits, over the course of longer time, you will actually get a whole lot more work done, which the body recognizes. So when it comes to even rehab, nothing is ever to failure, okay? So typically when I work rehabilitative, this kind of thing, I will work, I'd say normally around the 30 to 40 rep range, sometimes 50, 30 to 50. And when I say like 50, I'm not talking like 1, 2, I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Like my movements are small, bouncing isometric-ish movements, okay? So it's not a lot of time, like maybe 30 seconds max, 25, 30 seconds of activity, but that equates to 30 to 50 reps, okay? And at the end of it, you're not like failing, you're maybe just warm, okay? You're like warm, your form isn't breaking, but what it does is it really will increase your blood flow and you'll get a tremendous pump from it, okay? I normally work a lot of everything you do, whatever you do, you get better at. So I will mimic, even in my rehab, I will mimic the structure that I'm competing in, okay? So for the last long time, it's been super matches, it's been 6 rounds, it's been minute and a half rest. That's the way I train. Okay, so I will do my work, and you'll think, how much time do I have to work? Depending on the league, depending on the tightness of the referees, you have the set grip, you have this loading period, okay? John Brzezinski, okay? First round, right? How much hell did I get for that? Okay? How much work was done before we said go? Okay, these are considerations in your planning, for your training, okay? If you know you're gonna be able to work for 4 minutes, then your training should reflect that, right? I have 4 minutes of work, setup, match, you have a minute and a half to rest. You will do this 6 times, okay? That's one way to look at it. You can also say the only thing that matters is 4 rounds because I only need 4 rounds to win. You can also say the only thing that matters is the first round because after that he's screwed, okay? So there's looking at it as 1 round, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, okay? But when you're thinking rehab, typically nice blood flow because you will need blood the whole way through and you don't want to get to the 4th round and die, okay? 6 rounds, maybe like 5 exercises. Typical rehab workout for me, I'll use a multi-spinner. I use a multi-spinner with, it's a super big priority. Multi-spinner and belt, okay? So imagine I have a multi-spinner. Yes, yeah. Okay, so multi-spinner is a handle with, does anybody have a multi-spinner? Oh, can you bring it up? Okay. Okay, well, how about this? Does anybody have a water bottle? Okay. Okay, so a multi-spinner is something like this, okay? So it'll give a pressure like this. You see this? Okay? And this will go to a cable. Okay, so it's a cupping, and because it's a multi-spinner is single attachment, so it's unstable. The reason you use it is it feels a lot like arm wrestling. It's almost like Swiss ball, okay? People train with a Swiss ball. Multi-spinner is not your super high power 1 rep max kind of, it can be, but it's a difficult one to do that with. I do a lot of multi-spinner, okay? So a typical kind of circuit for me, multi-spinner high, bang, 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 50. Nicely, I don't even change the weight. Switch to post. Bang, 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 50. Switch to low cup multi-spinner. Okay, low cup. Okay, bang, 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 bang. Top roll. Bang, 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 bang. Go do some tricep. 50. Do some kickback. 50. And maybe at the end I do a thing of grip. Now when I do grip, I never do grippers. I'll just use a very small thing on an attachment where it still works a chain. Okay, so right there, I've baked me about 3 or 4 minutes. I'll add little bits of weight to each one of those. I'll do it again for 6. At the end, my arm is swollen, pumped, not tired. Takes me about half an hour, not even, 25 minutes. Most super matches, if you look at them, if the guy's a dick, like I am, you're looking at about 20 minutes. So train the same way you fight, okay? In terms of energy expenditure, rehab's a part of that, okay? That kind of thing is gonna get you conditioned, healthy, ready for that kind of format. And I train like that a lot. Like even when I'm training, the way I'm training now, where I'm just doing the single lift, I'll still throw in a sequence like that every once in a while, either when I wake up in the morning or before I go to bed. It's just good for health and just general sorting your stuff out. It's very interesting, this experiment I did where I did right hand, pumpkin theory, left hand, party arm. Okay, it was a very interesting experiment for me. You know, after I got all the data, I realized that the best thing I could do was just party harder. That's what I was left with. Just do more arm wrestling, okay? Because I was so amazed how much my left arm, how good it was from just arm wrestling. That's it. I didn't do a single thing. And I think somewhere over that 2.5 year experiment, my left was the best it had ever been. That's just from arm wrestling. So never ever deprioritize your table time. And it's the most fun thing you can do anyways. It's probably why we're all here. It's because we like arm wrestling. Like, it's cool to get strong in the gym and it's gonna help you, but man, you can get really good just from arm wrestling. So that'll take me to practice, okay? A lot of new guys here. I really hope that everybody gets connected to clubs in the area while you're here. If you're a new guy, make sure you meet the people that are close to you. Figure out when they practice, when they get together. Take care of each other, guys. Take good care of each other. I know that everybody wants to pin people, okay? Try not to get pinned. Every time you get pinned, you're in bad form. When you look at the 100 days, how much work you can do in 100 days, every time you do bad form, every time you get hurt, it takes away from the sum total that you can achieve. Ideally, you want to practice a lot. Most clubs have practice once a week, twice a week. In my opinion, it's probably not enough if you're crazy about it. Listen, once a week, once every 2 weeks is better than nothing. But if you want to be a crazy lover of arm wrestling, you do more. You do more. You don't max out every practice. You go, practice good form, you know, but nothing's going to help you more than arm wrestling. If you're in the club, do fun things. Get a club ranking board. People say you shouldn't pull hard in practice. Well, you shouldn't always pull hard in practice. But you're in a club, you got 3 or 4 tables. You got 20 guys who show up. Make it incentivized, right? If you're ranked 1 through 4, you have rights to that table, okay? You have rights to the table. Somebody beats you, they get the table. You want to do challenge matches in the club? That's cool. Obviously, if a guy's got big stuff coming up, you don't, right? Always trying to take care of each other, but club rankings makes it fun, guys. Any way you can make arm wrestling practice fun, you do it. But you got to go a lot. Any questions, guys? Yeah.
I know you do a lot of the micro, short range of motion movements.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a negative to do full rep ranges?
I think an overriding concept is whatever you do, you get better at. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you use that statement. Whatever you do, you get better at. Everything is an investment. Okay, and the closer you can match what you're going to do on that table, the more your body's going to adapt that way. So let's take a curl, for example, right? That's a full range curl. I mean, I wish I could do a full range curl. That's as full range as I got it. But the truth is this is where I actually got to be strong, right here, right? I'm on the table, right? This is the most important place for me to be strong. So I would like to think that the majority of my training would be in this position, okay? Whatever you do, you get better at. Never forget that. Let that be kind of a guiding principle. When you make your exercises, make them so they feel just like you are at the table, right? Make your exercises so that they reflect things that you do on the table, right? Right? Everything I do is basically like a pop, 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 pop. I never move too much outside the center. This is where I gotta be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious, like looking at some bodybuilding type stuff, like those guys, the real mass monsters that pack on pounds and pounds of muscle. Obviously that's worked for some guys, but like, wouldn't that add stability potentially to like a good game? Yeah. Like I was worried, like I was thinking like in the shoulder and stuff.
Yeah. I think that everything is like a wave, right? So for sure, like there will be periods when you should do that. I think you should move from like non-specific to more specific. So again, with the same thing, like with range, when you're far away from an event or far away from when it matters, open up a bit more, do things more general. And then as you come into when you're actually going to compete, dial it in, tighten it up, go from doing your full range curls, like whatever, 6 months out, 4 months out, you just get tighter and tighter to where you're doing exactly what it is you got to do. There's a lot of arguments that say the body does not like to be imbalanced. Okay, a lot of people say that, strive for balance, strive for, overall function to be healthy. Now, I'll tell you that in my opinion, you should just be prepared for what your life throws at you. Okay, so it's like a greenhouse plant versus a plant that grows outdoors. You have a greenhouse plant, there's no wind, there's no rain. Okay, it's just good times and easy days, and I'm just gonna grow big, and your outside plant, all sorts of stuff is thrown at you. Depending on your job and your lifestyle, my life is so simple right now. Okay, the only thing that's gonna hurt me is something happens on the table, because I'm like a full-time arm wrestler. Okay, so I need to adapt to arm wrestling. If you're doing all sorts of general things in your life and you train like that, you might get hurt, right? Something might get you. But if you are in a safe place, I personally believe that all those balance things are just not true. They're just not. And I feel like I'm a little bit of an example of it. I'll tell you, 2.5 years, I have done nothing but train my right hand and forearm. I have done nothing. And I'll tell you, my back feels healthier, my knees feel better. I am in no way as injured as I was prior when I was doing all these different things. Okay, and I'm as imbalanced as you can possibly be. Okay, I train one thing only, my back. I was so worried when I started to do this. I was like, oh, my back is gonna get all spun up. Everything's gonna be all weird. It's just not the truth. It's not the truth. I'm healthier now than I was when I started this training because I am preparing for what is gonna hurt me.
You were saying your right arm's actually getting longer than your left arm now?
Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Like, you can see, like, it's a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
So you're just gonna keep doing this till it's...
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna give this experiment a really fair run, okay? There's 7 billion people. There's 7 billion of us, okay? I feel like somebody should try this, really, like, and now why not be me, okay? I'm gonna push it. I'll push it until I feel like it breaks, okay? So far, so good. I really believe that what I've done so far has been of benefit, okay? So still to this day, so right now I'm doing singles. I'm doing both arms in practice, but all my homework is to push my right arm further. I plan on giving it a minimum of 5 to 7 years, okay? Minimum, right? And we'll see. Like, I already feel like it's been 2.5 years. My right arm grew, okay? My entire career, I've been 15, 17, and it's grown. It has. My left is still the same, okay? And I think it's the blood flow. There's a lot of factors, obviously, but it's a lot of it is the training. A lot of it is.
So you mentioned party harder.
Yeah.
But if you look at the top 10, theoretical top 10,
Yeah.
I think most of them tend to party less. So like once a week or even once a month. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that there is a big, and I agree, there is a lot of ways to skin the cat, okay? There is a lot. Now, what I'm interested in figuring out is there a difference between weight category and super heavyweights? Okay, and I'll tell you, in my opinion, the super heavyweight division is, man, you gotta have strength like you would not believe, okay? Now, I also think that if you have a weight limit, okay, that this theory might work a lot better, okay? I think that if you are in a weight category, it might put more prevalence into the arm wrestling table. It may, okay? And that is obviously the next chapter of my arm wrestling career, okay? Levon is a monster. I fucking love the guy, seriously, no matter what anybody says, or so impressed, okay? To a degree where I'm like, have it, Levon. Take it and run with it. All right, I am at a point where I recognize the and look at a lot of reasons why the party harder doesn't work is because it's very hard to find people to challenge you at the intensity required for that level of strength. I believe that arm wrestling is still the best and most fun thing you can do, and to me, it's very important. I've lived the super heavyweight lifestyle, and it sucks. It sucks bad, right? It is a lot of discipline. It's not fun days, okay? The fun things about arm wrestling is practicing with people, and I do believe that you can be in a weight category and win with that theory. I do believe that.
So is the caveat like you need to have strong enough people to get you there?
I believe that in a weight category, it'll change a lot of things because in practice, you can get good practice. And let me tell you, I do believe that the theory will work in the super heavyweights as well. I really do. But there's a lot of problems in that super heavyweight division. Okay, there's a lot of reasons why the super heavyweight division is is a lot of intricacies to what make that super heavyweight division what it is. There are a lot of theories with training. A lot of them work. I'll tell you that the thing that is the most important thing about the training system that you use is your belief in it. Okay, like I've done a lot of training systems. I've done 3s and 10s. I've done arm wrestling only. I've done weights only. I've done every time you go and you break a record. There's a lot of things that work. You have to look at what's sustainable. You have to look at what you want to do, what makes you happy. Okay, if you start to discount these factors, okay, it's going to be a long, hard road. Okay, whatever you do in this life, it has to be fun. It has to be. Otherwise, you will develop friction. Okay, you will develop resistance. Okay, and you won't want to do it. And at the end, you'll be like, what did I do that for? Okay, I do believe that the best part of arm wrestling is training with people. It's the very best. And I also believe that that's really what can make you a champion as well. And we'll see. We'll see. It's always an experiment, right? So you'll see in a year or 6 months or 9 months of doing this party harder system, you'll see where I'm at, right? And the results will always speak for themselves. Well, we'll see, man. Well, it's all an experiment.
So how do you feel about hanging upside down and like doing twirls? Because I remember you walking a lot for blood flow. So I would walk in the street and just like twirl.
Yeah.
To get my fingers full of blood.
Yeah, man.
And I'd hang upside down and like,
yeah,
this is what Devon Larratt does.
I love it. I love it.
Is that like part of the blood flow?
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of times what I'll do, like, so I'm a huge fan of walking also, because I just think it's actually a better state. Like if you want to lie around, that's cool too. I like to lie around, but I also like to walk, right? Because I feel like by walking, yeah, for sure. And I'll go through the movements when I walk, right? All that stuff. So I'll walk, I'll do my grips, I'll walk, I'll do my pronations, I'll walk, I'll do my cups. Every movement I do at the arm wrestling table, I'll walk, I'll do sets of 30, and I'll do the full movement, right? Be walking, swinging, movement, movement, movement. Yeah, you're like a shark, right? Breathing, moving. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. It all helps you, and you get healthier, right? It's a healthier place to be. Like that's an interesting thing with super heavyweight division versus weight category. There's an interesting difference. If you want to be really good, really healthy, walk, swing your arms, get healthy, be able to move in all ways. You want to be super heavyweight, super 1 RM, just total blast, you're gonna have to spend a lot more time on your couch. which it's all good. It's all good. But it's you gotta have fun. You gotta be able to look back and say that was great. Right? So a little bit of both, just things to think about. Any questions? Let's rip, yeah? A little more ripping? Yeah? Okay.
It's right there.
Got it.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
That last inch.
So good. Rotating. Really.
Wait, were you supposed to do
I'm gonna have to subscribe.
Go AJ.
Yeah, I'm already subscribed to yours. I did right before the event. I was the guy that commented on YouTube.
Nice.
Go AJ.
Get it! The whole table just flexes.
Good. That's it.
One more?
Yeah. That's it. Nice job. Think about that wrist. Think about that wrist all the time.
Yeah, I can't.
Just put your head in like there and your thumb. This is the most important place to have your head. So I'll throw it on this line. All your focus should be right here and right here. It's the most important. Just think about this all the time. Put your head right here. Now, if you can just put that just there, it's so much better. You feel like right. Every little piece. But this is where you're thinking. Maybe you can slide this a little bit forward. Get a little bit. That's it. Yeah. Good. And again here, right? Lift your. That's it. You feel the skin sliding.
Oh yeah.
This is all you think about.
I see. Okay.
Drag it close to you. Drag it close. Good. Your right elbow should not be on the table. That's better. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Good. Go ahead. Yeah.
That was just too much.
Good. Thanks, Paul.
All right. Cool.
Climb higher up. Good. Higher up. Good. Yeah. Good. Nice. Good. 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 Nice. Keep your shoulders square. Don't let it go too open. Just like a tree branch. Like he's so strong for his weight. Good.
Yeah, he's like.
Nice. Good. Good. Is it beneficial to? Nice. Who you pulling with? Good. Nice. Now you gotta press. Got one. Nice. Nice. Who you pulling with? Who you pull with?
Just some friends at college.
Good.
Yeah. But I like coming to events like this where there's so many people who destroy me.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good. Let's do this. Just let's hook it up. Yeah, hook it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Keep that wrist bent hard. Climb higher up and bend that wrist hard. Good. Nice. 15. Oh my God. Yes.
Gonna need ibuprofen after this one.
You're very, very strong. Very impressive. Nice.
Just left.
That's awesome. Wow, 15. I don't think that there's too many guys your age that do much with you, huh? No, I wouldn't think so. How long you been pulling?
Almost 2 years.
Really, really good. Yeah, you got it down, man.
Thanks.
Who you pulling with?
That's his pops right there.
Oh, wow. Pulls great. I see it now, yeah.
I train with Jacob.
Okay, yeah. Feel good there? Yep. Yep. Nice. Yes. Nice. Yeah. Really good one. Hey, you got great foot. Super strong, dude. Super, super strong. Thank you.
Good job, man. Good pull.
Freaking wristless. Moving. It's just fundamentals, dude. It doesn't budge. It's fundamental, like rise, cut, roll.
Yeah.
It's especially in the strap.
Yeah,
Right? Hard to get away from those strengths.
Come on, Chris, let's go! Let's go! Sorry, Mom.
That's all I got left. Thank you. Yeah, get your hand up. Just go nice and easy, okay? How long you been pulling?
I'm a beginner.
Okay.
Yeah. I just pull with the legs.
Just think position, okay? I'm not gonna pull you over center, okay? So just always keep me holding on to you the whole time, okay? Slide the elbow forward, advance your grip, okay? That's it. Just make it worse and worse for me. When you drag your elbow back, try and engage your wrist, okay? Yeah. When you come forward, just think re-grip. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Get a better grip. Slide the elbow forward. Yeah. Good. Just hold it. Stand up tall. Elbow inside the body. Good. You're gonna pin it a few times. Okay, ready? Yeah. Get your left arm out of the way. Yeah. Pin. Yeah. Nice. Okay, higher up. Every time you stand up, get higher up. Yeah. Again. Lots of wrist. Drive off of your hip through the movement. Okay, come again. Watch this. Feel me. You feel my hip? Yeah. Okay. Throw from your hip. Yeah. Yes. Better. Burning a bit. Yeah. Just hold it, man. Okay. Get your wrist bent. Get it bent. Get your wrist bent. Bend it in. Cover up. Climb up. Cover your thumb. Bend that wrist in. Good. More. Bend that in wrist in. That's it. Bend that wrist in. That's it. Always think wrist. Good job. Post. Nice. It's almost there. Be careful now. Yeah. Nice job. Good shoulder. Nice.
Come on, brother, let's go! Rip his arm off!
Good.
Yeah, come on!
My right side is good.
My right's better too. Me hold on to you. Make me hold on to you. Pull up.
I can go first.
Pull up. Higher. Drive the elbow forward. Good. Open up your hand. There you go. That's it. When you open your hand, I want you to slide it as high forward as you can. Up. That's it. Yes. Good. Good. Yep. Yep.
I saw it, Tim. I saw that shit.
Oh, really?
Get it closer to you. Get it closer before you go for the pin. Get it closer to you. Get a better grip. Get up higher. Nice job. Yep. Nice job. Good work. Yeah. Good. That's it. That's it. Left elbow. Left elbow. You don't want that elbow to stop your body at all. Have it so it's flowing. Yeah.
Over here?
Better. Just not so it's in the way. That's it. Yeah. Get closer with your body. That's better. That's better. Good.